Hello and welcome to this episode of The View from 4 Feet and 3 Inches. I'm your host, Cassidy Huff. I am a white woman, and today I am sitting in my normal space, my normal podcast filming space. I am wearing a black sweatshirt that says "Disability looks like this" in pink lettering. If you want this crew neck, it's my merch, so go head to either the link that is down below, or if you're watching on YouTube, I will put a card on the screen right over here so that you can go click on that and get this crew neck for yourself. My hair is up today in a bun. I have dangly blue butterfly earrings in, and I have my black glasses on. I'm sitting on a gray couch with a gold pillow behind me, and you can see my bookshelf in the background. Welcome back to our normal setup, everybody. Monty is trying to attack me, per usual. Wow, it's good to be back, isn't it, bud? So, last week we had Alicia on the show, and that was amazing. And this is probably my last solo podcast for a little bit. I have a lot of guests lined up for the show, and I'm really excited about them. They're all really cool disability advocates in their own fields, and I'm really excited to get to sit down with them, and they're all my friends, so it's gonna be some good conversations that are gonna be happening. Monty, stop chewing on my notebook, dude. Here, you want your blanket? Here, get that. All right, so today it is the last podcast session that I am recording in the month of September, which means that it is almost the end of National Service Dog Month. So I thought that I'd share some funny stories that have happened while Champ has been working. I did do this video last year, but it's been a full year since I've told these stories. One of them is different, so if you want to go check out the video I did last year about, these funny service dog things that have happened to us while Champ's working, go check that out. But it's literally going to be the exact same stories minus one of them. So let's start out with this. Champ is my service dog. He is 7 years old. He's a black lab. A lot of people don't believe me when I say he's a black lab because he's so big, but he is an English black lab, meaning that he is stockier and broader than an American black lab, so they are built bigger, which is why he doesn't have the black lab look. He looks almost like a Bernese mountain dog, like he has the Bernese face, in my opinion. Anyways, so he is huge. He outweighs me, but he is my mobility service dog. So he helps with a lot of my mobility issues. He helps get stuff off the ground for me. He helps me off the ground when I fall. He can pull my manual wheelchair. He is balance support in case I need a little bit of extra support while I'm walking. He does a lot, and so he goes with me everywhere. And one time, this was very recently, this is the story that's going to replace one of them that I told last year. So we were at Home Goods, and it was a Home Goods / Marshalls, I think, like that duo that's happening right now. And we were just shopping, we were looking around. Kaz and I needed some new lampshades, so that's what we were looking for. And as we are in this Home Goods, it's like a Friday night or something like that, so it's pretty busy in there. And the aisleways are a little bit crowded. And so we're working our way through this Home Goods, and we are in a position where we're trying to go one way, but there are a bunch of people. So we kind of move out of the way and are trying to sneak past this group of people. I don't really know how to explain it. Anyways, you get it. So as we're moving past this group of people, we have to go pretty close to a specific woman to get around a corner because she's kind of blocking where we need to be. And so instead of saying excuse me or whatever, there was just enough room for us to get by, meaning Kaz is in front of me, kind of leading the way, and then I have Champ next to me, and we're passing this woman, and I can just tell by her body language that she's either going to say something about Champ or she's going to try and pet him or something, right? So this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Don't pet service dogs when they're working. So I go to pass this woman and Kaz is in front of me, so he doesn't see this interaction, but I can just tell that this woman's about to do something. So I like look up, right? Because I'm 4'3", hence the view from 4 feet and 3 inches. I'm 4'3", and so I look up at this woman and just smile, the stranger smile that you do. And I kind of just warmly smile at her. I'm like, hi. And she looks at me dead in the eyes, looks at Champ, looks back at me. And keep in mind, we're moving at this point. As soon as she's behind me, she just very loudly exclaims, I just feel so bad for them. I just feel so bad for those dogs. They have such a sad life. And there's probably a good 10 or 15 other people around at this point. And I just kind of freeze, and Kaz turns around because we're behind him. And so he turns around and he was like, what did she just say? And I was like, just keep walking. Just keep walking. Because I don't know who this woman is. I don't want a confrontation with her. But other people were kind of like collectively, everybody just kind of like stopped and like held their breath real quick, because everybody was like, what? Like, who says that? It was wild. So that's the most recent story of confrontation, I guess, if you can even call it that has happened to me with Champ next to me. A lot of people will try to, advise different harnesses for him, tell me that I have the wrong gear on him, be like, you know what you need? And then anytime anybody says that, I'm like, oh God, what do I need? Because at the end of the day, service dog handlers know what's best for them and their dog, and like what works for them and what doesn't work for them. So I always am polite during those interactions, but that one just really threw me off. With these stories, by the way, I'm going to be telling the least wild first and working my way up to the most outrageous one. Oh my God, there's a fruit fly. Anyways, so that's the least wild one, if you can believe it. But that one happened to me pretty recently, like within the last few months. So I thought I'd tell it, because it's like, who says that to people out in public? Anyways, my second one happened when we were in college. This was 2-ish years ago. And the way my college was set up, Monty's back. The way my college is set up, I had to go get some mail. And the mail room was located right by the elevator. So I'm going to get my mail, and Champ is with me. We went to college together. He went to every single class with me. So we're going to get our mail. We're standing in line. We're waiting for mail, whatever. People start to clear out. It's the end of the day. And so now I'm waiting for the elevator. And there's this mail person that is dropping off mail and packages and whatever and doing their job. And so I am waiting for the elevator, and I feel Champ I'm constantly aware of Champ. I'm always aware of what Champ's doing when he's working, because, he's like my child. Like, I know where he is at all times. I know what he's doing at all times. So I feel him next to me kind of like shift awkwardly, like he was uncomfortable. And so I look down and I'm like, hey dude, like, we're good. We're fine. And he immediately goes on my right side instead of my left. And so I was like, oh, that's weird, because I'm blind in my right eye. So I always keep him on my left side so I can see him. And he will only do that if he thinks there's either a threat on my right side, like he's trying to protect me, or actually, that's the only reason. The only reason he goes on my right side is because he thinks there's something that he's trying to protect me from. And he doesn't ever do it aggressively. He just, is trying to put himself between me and whatever he's deeming as a threat. So he'll put himself there and just casually and kind of try and protect me. So he does that, and that's the first red flag that I should have been alerted to. But I could tell that he was like alerting to something, right? And so I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I feel him awkwardly adjust again. So I look up and I look over to my right, and there's this mail lady who she was like, "Oh, what a beautiful dog." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate it." I get that compliment all the time because he is really pretty. And so I was like, "Oh, thank you. Appreciate it." The end. Monty's back. And so I brush it off. I go back to my phone, waiting for the elevator. And then I feel Champ again shift really awkwardly. So I look over. This mail lady has made this magic pepperoni stick appear out of literally nowhere and is holding it out towards my dog. So I instinctively just put him on my left side. I was like, "Champ, heel." And Champ listens to me. And so he goes in a heel. So he goes on my left side instead of my right. Because I don't know if this lady tried to poison him. I don't know. Like, you never let your dog take food from a stranger. Maybe at like a coffee shop or something where they're giving him dog treats. But never like a random mail lady next to the mailroom elevator. Like, no. So I was like, "Oh, sorry, he's working." And she was like, "Oh, but he can still have treats, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, I have a pouch for treats that's always on me. So, he does get treats throughout when he's working." And she was like, "Oh, come on, he can just have a little bite of the pepperoni." No, no, he cannot. If the elevator didn't come right then and there, which thank God it did, but if it didn't, I was about ready to take the stairs because what was that? What was that? Um, that was probably the most wild experience I ever had in college with Champ working. There was this other time, I did not write this down, but there was this other time my friends and I were walking to class because the shuttle broke down. So we were walking to class and we're on the streets of Hollywood, California, okay? It is dangerous. And I'm with a bunch of people and they're pushing me in my chair and Champ is with me. And this one guy came up to us on the street and just started petting Champ. And I was like, "Oh, sorry, he's working and you can't pet him." And he got really aggressive. So my friends had to be like, "Hey man, like back up. Like she said you can't pet him, like stop." And they like took him on and eventually scared him off. But that was also wild. Those were like the two weirdest experiences I ever had with Champ in college. Otherwise, like the students, my friends, my teachers were all great with him. They really were. And I have no complaints about them. But other people are just crazy sometimes. Like, what even? Why would you try to feed a dog or pet a dog when the owner specifically tells you not to? Wild. Okay, so my third and final story, I guess fourth and final story, has to do with when I was in high school. I had just gotten Champ. Actually, yes, no. Yeah, I was just about to get Champ. And there's this thing called 504 meetings that you have to have when you're in public school and have a disability. And so there are either IEP meetings or 504 meetings. 504 meetings are basically accommodations that you need to be in school. And so I had a 504 meeting all 12 years, from first grade to 12th grade. And usually my mom led my 504 meetings, but as I got older, I started leading them by myself. So I knew that my service dog, me getting a service dog, was going to create some conflict with the administration because the administration already didn't like me. And I knew this. And I know they watch my videos, so hi. But they did not like me. And it was because I pushed boundaries and I held them accountable for a lot of things, especially when there were inaccessibilities. And so I knew that they were not going to like the fact that I was actually following through with getting a service dog. So this was the 504 meeting where I actually announced to the administration, the principals there, your teachers are at your 504 meeting, the guidance counselors at your 504 meeting, things like that. And so I was like, "Hey guys, I'm actually getting a service dog. I'm going to team training to get him. And I'm going to be missing 2 weeks of school. And so just so you know, I'm going to come back after those 2 weeks with a dog every single day." I was in my senior year at that point, and I had told the administration every year up to this point, I'd been giving them updates about where I was in getting my service dog. And so this was the moment where I was like, "I'm finally getting him, and just be prepared. I will be coming to school with a dog and every day for, the rest of senior year." And They did not like that. Now, per the Americans with Disabilities Act, they are not allowed to tell you that you're not allowed to bring your service dog into school. Businesses are only, and schools, because schools are, like districts, are only allowed to ask you 2 questions in regards to service dogs. The first question is this animal necessary because of a disability? And the second question is, what tasks can this dog perform for you? So I was expecting some pushback, but what they did was beyond what my mom and I were expecting. So I had that 504 meeting, and everybody was kind of like, oh, great, yay, dog, hooray. And then I went home then I went to school for the rest of the day. And while I was at school and while my mom was at work, they sent us an email that said, my guidance counselor, excuse Monty in the background. He's chasing his crinkle ball. As I was at school that day, we get an email from my guidance counselor that basically said, hi, I've checked with the district and they have a district protocol for service dogs specifically. So if you could just fill this form out before Champ starts coming to school with you, that would be great. And I was like, oh, cool. Thinking it was some kind of like emergency form, right? Thinking it was something like, oh, he's really going crazy with that crinkle ball. Give me a second. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. I had to take the crinkle ball away for the next 5 minutes while I finish this episode. So she sends over a PDF that looks like somebody literally put it into a Word document. And I know that somebody did because it didn't even come to us as a PDF. It came to us as a Word document. So somebody literally just typed this up. It doesn't have the school logo on it or anything. It literally just has the words on it. Okay, so I have it right here and I'm going to read it to you word for word. I kept it 4 years later because it is just outrageous. Okay, let me see. Here's what it says. It says the district name, service animal protocol. Student name, school, service animal name / description, tasks animal is trained to perform. Okay, great. So all of the things that you were allowed to ask, perfect. And you can ask for a name / description in case there's some kind of emergency, you need to locate him, whatever. Great. Voice / signal / other control. You're not allowed to ask that. Also, so they're basically trying to ask like how I'm cueing Champ, right? Like what commands he's under. However, other control, what? You can't ask that. Harness / leash / tethered. So they want to know how I'm handling him, and whether or not he's going to be tethered outside of the school during, like while I'm in class. That is word for word what they told me when I asked about this. Bathroom. So I'm guessing they want to know where and when he's going to the bathroom. That's none of your business. Food / water. Again, this one, I remember specifically asking about this one. And they were like, so are you going to keep food and water in your locker? No. He only eats twice a day. Otherwise, I have treats on me. Also, I don't live at school full time. He's fine. Like, I had a collapsible water bowl, and I still do, for when we're out. Like, I would give him water during, like, in between classes or even during classes. Like, it was okay. But, like, why do you need to know that? Field trips. They wanted to know, like, how he was going to get to and from field trips. Well, I was in senior year at this point. And we didn't really have any field trips. And if we did, it was like senior outings and you had to plan your own transportation. The next one is transportation. I did not take any buses at this point. Like my dad drove me to and from school because I only lived a few miles away from school. So, interesting. Emergency protocols. I'm not sure what they... Did you hear that? Monty just... Anyways, I'm not quite sure what they meant by emergency protocols. And then they just copied and pasted this part of the ADA in here, so they had to have read at least some of it, which they just completely skipped over the part where they're only allowed to ask 2 questions. But it says, removal of service animal. A person with disability cannot be asked to remove the service animal from the premises unless the service animal is out of control and the handler does not take effective action to control it, or the service animal is not housebroken. When there is a legitimate reason to ask that a service animal be removed, staff must offer the person with a disability the opportunity to obtain goods or services without the animal's presence. What kind of, why? Monty! God! Why is that the part that you chose to include at the end of this document? If you can even call it a document. And then at the very bottom, it says, staff are not required to provide care or food for a service animal. As if I don't know the service animal rights and the service animal responsibilities that I have. What? That I will never get over. So basically we had to tell them that it was against the law for them to ask any of these questions, and they didn't believe us, so we ended up having to get a disability lawyer involved because they were saying that if we did not fill out this form, he would not be allowed in school with me, even though you can't ask those questions. Those questions are against the law. The first 3 are fine. But the rest of them, you can't ask that. What? Wild. So those are the stories that I have for you today of wild things that have happened when Champ is working and because of Champ. Other than that, if you haven't seen my vlog about his health journey after his surgery, he is doing great. He really is. He is off of his wet food diet now. He had his post-op appointment and they said his teeth look amazing. His incisions look great. All of his stitches have dissolved. And yeah, he's doing really, really well. So other than some everyday ableism that we face, we're doing great. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode of The View from 4 Feet and 3 Inches, even with Monty in the background just acting like an absolute menace. I really appreciate you watching and listening. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, give me a 5-star rating depending on where you're listening. Comment on what you would like me to cover next month. For October is Dwarfism Awareness Month, so that's really exciting. I obviously have dwarfism, so let me know your questions for that. I will be happy to answer them. I think I'm going to do a Q&A session for one of the podcasts next month. During my outro just now, Monty just knocked over my whole camera. So, in case you recognize that this is a different angle, that is why. If you were watching on YouTube, I apologize. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to go follow me on all of my other social media because I do post on TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts every single day. I do have a YouTube vlog that comes out every Wednesday and a podcast episode every Sunday. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!